Hey everybody, it's Matt.
Ding nigga, once again. Special guest.
Who isn't going to introduce herself apparently because we have to do it. This is Macie. This is Denzel's wife.
Denzel's wife.
No, it's my wife. And be sure to speak up a little bit just because, you're further away. Just
This
talk
is
normal.
my loud voice.
No, just talk normal.
Oh, okay.
A little bit louder.
Okay. Penis. Penis.
I'll just watch this and make sure it gets like right there.
Like the yellowish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Macie's gonna talk about death stuff, so here we go.
Y'all are ready for it. Just gonna start off, I am not a licensed mortician. I am not a student at any mortuary school. I have no qualifications. I'm looking at the monitor.
Look at the camera.
I have no qualifications whatsoever. I'm just someone who's interested in death, and I someday want to go to mortuary school. So we'll see.
Someday I'll die.
Yeah, we're all gonna die.
No, the fuck we ain't there.
Except for Denzel, he's gonna live forever. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about embalming because I feel like that is the most used method of the most used method used in North America. So I'm going to talk about that. It actually started in the Civil War era because, if you're caught up in your history, you know that it is the deadliest battle in American history. Don't know the exact numbers, but I know that there were so many people that were dying at one time. They didn't have enough horses and buggies to go pick up the bodies, take them back to their loved ones, and have them be recognized or identified without them just being completely decomposed. So that actually started in the Civil War era, and business was booming. Please stop. The first embalming fluid was actually arsenic, and it obviously worked because they kept using it, but it was also very deadly to the people that did use it, so it was very deadly to the people that used it, so the biggest part of the time it was only the lifespan of a shut up. The lifespan of a mortician was usually about 5 to 10 years after they started performing embalming.
Do they have a coronavirus?
They might have. And some believe that embalming actually became civilized when Abraham Lincoln was actually embalmed. So that's
he was shot, actually.
He was embalmed after he was shot. And a lot of people believe that, well, if it's good enough for a president, it's good enough for us. So that's how that started.
What does embalming fluid smell like?
Embalming fluid, it does not smell pleasant from what I understand. Like I said, not a licensed mortician, but I know that even though it is safer than what they used in the past, it is still not safe. So you have to be heavily protected.
You know people smoke that shit? It's actually called wet. PCP. Used to mix with PCP. They used to get high.
Do they dip their cigarettes and shit on it? Yeah.
That's gross.
A lot of people get high off that shit. Not saying I would do it.
The crazy peoples.
So what replaced arsenic?
Those no tolerance, as Ben will say.
Yeah, no tolerance.
We're not going to talk about that. So what ended up replacing arsenic was formaldehyde. Still not that safe, like I said, but it was.
Funny.
It smells funny, but it was a lot safer than what they were using. So.
How do you pronounce it? Formaldehyde?
Formaldehyde.
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 There you go. You got it.
Charmander disappeared.
Oh, Charmander!
Char.
So the main purposes of embalming is to slow down decomposing. I can't think of the word. Slow down the...
Decomposition?
Decomposition, thank you. It slows down the decomposition of the body, and it actually makes the body easier to control.
You even have it wrote down.
I couldn't pronounce it.
Decomposition.
Yeah, I should have done like the decompose
style.
And it makes the body easier to handle when they're dressing and putting on makeup and just reconstructing because some of us don't look pretty when we die. I'll get into that.
Nigga, I'm always going to look sexy.
You're always going to, except for Denzel. Denzel is the exception to all of these rules. So the first thing that they do is they set the features because one season, let's say I embalm Matt. Let's say that we are embalming Matt. If I were to shut up, put your nipple up. If I'm going to embalm Matt, I'm going to want to set his face to a pleasant state because if I have him looking like that when I embalm him, you made a stupid face. If I have him looking like that when we embalm him, he's going to look like that. No one's gonna like that.
I would.
Give me the.
Is my nigga's mouth open and he dies, I'm gonna put my dick in it.
I know you are.
I believe it.
That's why if he ends up dying before I do, I'm gonna be like, don't touch him. Don't put anything in his mouth. At least don't let me see it.
They what's the word I look for? Homosexual activity.
That's homosexual activity.
Homies. I hate you.
Ah,
Okay, so they set the features on the face, which means they close the eyes, they close the mouth, they either super glue the lips, or they sew it or wire it shut. Also get into that.
What's his name? Billy?
Who's Billy?
From
Billy
Hocus
Eyelash?
Pocus?
Hocus Pocus. No,
He got sewed up.
not like that.
we talking like sauce sold up?
I'll show y'all an example here in a
No,
second.
you know Billy from Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Yeah, the zombie.
It's just, yeah.
Okay, well, 2.5 to 3 gallons of embalming fluid is used on each person, and it really depends on their weight and their age and
So you
the
know
cause
put
of
me on
death.
4.
no. I don't even know if you want to be embalmed. You never said.
I don't want to die.
Well, you got to think
I
about
just
it.
want to live forever.
Like how will they put it? Do they inject it or do they
It's actually, so what they do is, I'll show you an example on me. What they do is they take a little incision up here on the collarbone, up here on the collarbone, and they do 2 incisions. They do one right here, one right here, and they inject the embalming fluid through one, and the embalming fluid goes and like cleans everything out. So like fluid goes here, blood goes out here,
Blood goes up the tip.
up here. You're hitting a little too low.
No, it's never too low with us.
Okay, incisions are made at the collarbones near the curve. I wrote this stuff down and I can't even pronounce it.
Well, whatever.
Okay, they make 2 incisions near the arteries, 2 main arteries, and they massage the body parts as the fluid flows through them. So it's
Massage
just
the dick?
not the dick. They really don't care about the dick at this point.
Hey Matt, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna have to show some what is that called you were talking about? Some incisions. Well my dick already has an incision, you know, that's why I pee out a little cut.
They incised me.
Okay, like I said, they massage parts of the body to ensure that there's fluid going into all parts of the body, and sometimes
Semen.
not in this case, and sometimes dyes are included in the embalming fluid, especially
I thought
if
you already did.
what?
I thought you already did.
Color dyes.
Color guys?
Dyes.
Color.
DYES.
That's racist,
I hate you.
Macie.
I hate you. Dyes are sometimes mixed into the embalming fluid, especially if the deceased has discoloration. What?
You're getting a little low.
I didn't mean to.
You're in the red, baby. You're peeking.
Okay, well I have to like talk over you. Stop. I have to talk over you. Okay, this one is uncomfortable to think about, but it is a necessary part of embalming. It's called cavity embalming.
What is cavity embalming?
I will demonstrate. So it is the center cavities of the body, and they are aspirated or sucked out to remove built up gas, built up fluid, and built up feces.
She gonna get your poop out, dude.
Show
Yeah.
me
Yeah, Denzel, if you'll please stand up, I can show you.
my ass.
So what they do is
You
they
gotta get
take
me on
a.
camera, bud.
You have to get more on camera, dude.
Yeah, just move the chair.
I just got the chair.
Biggie Smalls.
So they have this long hollow needle that is called a trocar needle, and it's about yay big. There it is, camera. About yay big, and what they do is they jam that right into this part of the stomach, and then, as graphic as it sounds, they mix it all around, loosening up any loose tissue, loose organs. It's really uncomfortable to think about, but it's very necessary. It's very necessary. And other orifices are cleaned out and stuffed with gauze, and then they have this thing called a trocar button, which is literally just a little screw, and they just pop it right where the trocar nipple was. And then the body is washed and dried, and the face is heavily moisturized, and then they do their hair and makeup and get them ready for
Well,
viewing.
what do they do with the stuff inside once they mix it?
It gets sucked. Well, the trocar.
Margaritas?
The trocar is also a suction needle, like I explained, and that'll get sucked out and put down with the body.
Kind of like the spit thing at the dentist.
Yeah, it's a weird way to think of that, but yeah,
I wonder how big is that too, because I'm pretty sure I got some.
it's kind of a hollow needle, so it just shows how much everything is getting mixed and jabbed around. If it's able to fit through something not even that big.
Just imagine a piece of corn gonna come through that too.
You hear it. You hear the.
Okay, another part of embalming is the closings of the mouth and the eyes, because normally on TV and movies when you see a dead body, they look, like that, all pretty. That is a body that has been worked on. In reality, since they're losing all control of their muscles because they're dead, mouths are agaped and eyes are wide open and possibly rolled to the back of the head. Honestly, a lot like that. So,
Hit that Undertaker.
so a closed mouth and closed eyes are a body that has been worked on, and there are several different ways to. There are several different ways on how to close mouth and eyes, and
Looks so
they're a
weird.
little uncomfortable. The whole thing is uncomfortable. So one that they do is called the needle injector. So it's this little tube. Honestly, looks like a needle injector itself, or a syringe is what I'm trying to say.
Sriracha.
Can I use you as an example, Matt?
No.
Please? Okay, I'll use an example.
You use
So-
what?
I'll use you as an example.
She said a nipple.
I said example.
She should have said something about a nipple.
I said example.
She
Shut up.
saw my nipple too long.
If you'll please just do that. So what they're going to do is they're going to pry the lips open, and they're going to expose the maxilla, which is the top gum, and the mandible, which is the bottom. Mandible. I said mandible, didn't I?
I make now.
That's
what
my
they do-
mandible claw.
And it's these little pins that have wires attached to them, and they inject them in the needle and just go ching, ching. And what they do normally is they do 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and then they take them and twist them like bread ties, and it slowly closes the mouth and ensures that it doesn't break. Sometimes. Now, sometimes there are people who have receding gum lines, especially people who have smoked, and have worn dentures, and sometimes they can pop out, which is not something that you want in the middle of a viewing.
I was doing big gum shit.
If I finally ever get to mortuary school and I get to perform these same acts, I will probably do the suture method. What are you laughing at? What did you do? Probably do the suture method. This is actually what I'm going to need you for. What this is, it's a curved needle along with suture thread, and it actually sews the mouth shut. So if you can just come up here.
Can't you
So-
see my chin?
Okay, I just want you to keep your mouth open for the time being. So what they do is they take this curved needle, thread it and whatnot, and they stick it in. I can use you. They stick it in right behind the teeth. Don't bite me. Right behind the teeth, and it comes out the jaw, or it comes out the bottom of the chin. And they take it and they draw it back, and instead it comes out in front of the teeth. And then they take this needle and they inject it right into the left nostril. Then they go through this middle of the nose, they go through the right nostril, and then they bring it back and tie it all up. There you go.
Damn.
And to keep the lips from going because it's the jaw itself that is clenched and tied up because of the thread, it's not the lips. They super glue the lips the biggest part of the time.
What if I had big lips?
If you have big lips,
Then they use Gorilla Glue. That's racist.
that is racist. You can get in trouble for that.
That ain't racist. I was just
Fine,
saying because it's better than super glue.
And if
Nigga glue? Harambe
I
glue?
haven't said that word yet, have I?
No, you haven't.
Okay, good. I
No.
don't want to actually let it slip because
Yeah.
he's my homie and I say it around him.
yeah.
Please don't call me racist.
And in some cases,
This is
if
gonna be the one that
person-
blows
shut
up
up.
because I asked if I said the N word yet. I'm like, this racist motherfucker.
The caption, did he say the N word?
And in some cases, if the deceased is missing teeth or they are not being buried with their dentures, they have these things called mouth guards. And honestly, it looks a lot like a mouthpiece that you wear in a sporting event. And on the outside, where it meets the outer lip, it has like little spikes that keep everything in place. And a lot of times you have to, but I mean, you're dead, so it's not going to hurt you.
Yeah, well,
It's going to hurt you. You're going to feel pain in your
It's
body
gonna
afterwards.
hurt my
You're not
soul.
going to want to get embalmed or cremated.
I want to be cremated, you know.
Okay, we'll talk about cremated in
I'll be
another
shot up to
episode.
space.
That's expensive.
Can I do
You
that?
better have fuck you money if you want to do that. Yeah,
Is
they can do
even a
that.
thing?
Yeah, they can really do that.
They launch your bitch ass up in a coffin.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that shit.
You just want to be shot up there like butterball ass naked.
Hell
Just have someone come and just.
Fucking dick flapping in the wind. Just
There is no wind in space. It's just the void.
No, I mean like as he's going up, like shooting up, it's just.
Neil Armstrong say one big step for man booty.
Man booty.
Is it man Neil Armstrong? Or,
Yeah.
Yes.
or Lance Armstrong? Or
Lance Armstrong's the biker.
Yeah,
Is they
he's-
related?
No.
I don't think so. Well, damn it. What I was saying, the mouth formers is what they're called, and a lot of times they have to be cut down because of the sizing itself, and if it isn't sized properly, they get like puffy.
She's talking about
It gets a lot. It gets a lot like that. Shut up. It gets very puffy, and it makes them look bloated, more bloated than what they already should be.
Like, so you saying I'll lose this when I die? Because I'm trying to lose this
It's
shit.
possible. I mean, it's possible.
I should die soon.
Shut up. Don't die. I actually like having you around, despite what you may believe.
Breathe.
Oh yeah, we never talked about the eyes. And for the eyes, they have eye caps, which are very similar to the mouth formers that we just talked about. Only they're about the size of a quarter, and they just go up in your eye.
So man, you gonna lose them sexy ass eyes, B. You can lose eyes every day.
I mean, you can be buried with all of your organs, and if you don't choose to be embalmed, because you don't have to be embalmed. A lot of people recommend it, especially if you have family that needs to come in and, because like for example, I had someone who passed away very close to me a couple of years ago. This person died on a Monday. We had family who was out of the country, and we couldn't have his funeral until Friday. If we didn't embalm this person, they would have been stinking up the whole funeral home, so they had to be embalmed. It's very recommended, especially if there's going to be a lengthy time between time of death and time of putting him in the ground.
So if Matt need a ball, well, if I need a ball, can you just take one of mine?
I guess. I mean, you have to make it very clear with the people that you love that are remaining, and like the first of kin.
Fuck them niggas. They don't need my balls.
No, you need to tell them I want my organs donated. Don't let me go into the ground with anything that could be used to somebody else. That's what I want. If there's anything on me that can be used for somebody else, give it to them. I'm not going to need it. I'm dead.
Ooh, Matt, you know what that means? The vagina. You get one lip, I get one lip.
That's so fucking gross.
So you know
Oh,
how
God.
speaking of this, you said donate organs.
Yes.
You know how people donate kidneys and you have to have same blood type as someone?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same way with a nut?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think anyone has ever tried to donate a nut.
Man,
That isn't as common as needing livers or kidneys or that
That's
kind of
not life
stuff.
or death.
Yeah.
so Matt,
Mhm.
if you ever need a ball,
You can live without your nut.
you can have both my nuts when I die, bro.
Oh, so you already done?
How generous. What?
You already done?
No, not yet.
Oh, I
You're
like
on the first page again.
Because of the way that I wrote this down, I didn't write it down in order. Okay, so I also have a little bit of a quiz for these two, just genuine.
I mean, we smart, bro. We got
Smart.
this. We Wheel of Fortune
Okay, so
smart.
it's going to be I didn't write down the right answers.
Then how do you know?
I didn't circle what the right answers were. I just wrote them down. I know what the answers are.
You
Yes, I do.
lie.
So what is your name? Your name like Steve Harvey?
Am I Steve Harvey?
Yeah, you can be
Mhm.
Steve
Yeah,
Macie.
mustache.
Steve Macie?
Yeah, mustache.
So you telling me Steve Macie and Steve Harvey?
Okay, question number
Get you
one.
tired.
Question number one. Which one of these is not a top 5 killer in the U.S.? Stroke, HIV and AIDS,
HIV.
lung cancer, and heart disease.
HIV.
Lung disease.
HIV is the correct answer. It is not a top 5 killer.
What?
Yeah, because nobody dies from
Currently.
AIDS anymore.
Nobody dies from AIDS anymore.
Magic Johnson.
He's
Oh,
still alive.
He's still alive.
Easy E.
Yeah, but that was in the 90s.
Oh, that's
Before they had appropriate medication.
Well, if you ever get that shit, it's a pill called Truvada. It's supposed to clear it up. I seen it on the interview. Shouts out to Vlad TV.
Question number 2. What could happen to a person's eyeballs after death? Will they A, swell, B, fall out, C, flatten or shrink, or D, remain the same?
Remain the same.
Shrink.
They will flatten or shrivel.
That's
So
what I
yeah,
said.
that's what you said. Yes, that's what I'm saying. You're right.
You didn't even say
Hold
shrivel.
up. So you saying your eyes will get small?
Yeah, because lack of blood pressure, they'll actually flatten and shrink.
What about the people who's born with itty bitty eyeballs.
They'll just disappear.
It's still gonna flatten.
They'll turn to raisins, bro.
Like B-Day Papa Pump. That's why his shit's so small.
Okay. So question number 3. Brain can survive after... I'm sorry, let me try that again. How long can the brain survive after the heart stops beating? Is it A, 30 seconds to 1 minute, B, 3 minutes to 7 minutes, C, 8 minutes to 10 minutes, or D, it stops as soon as the heart stops?
B.
A.
Matt is on a roll. It's 3 to 7 minutes.
Fuck them retarded.
Well, because, like, you can hold your breath for longer than a damn 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And that ain't going to stop your brain. Oh, but that's the heart, though.
Yeah, it's
I'll
after the
still
heart
know
stops
anyway.
beating. Like, your brain still has a little bit of activity before it just
I
goes
think I
completely
like
radio silent.
breathing.
Matt, what you
No.
know? How you know so
I'll
much
still
about
be
dead niggas, bro?
He's just getting lucky.
Are you dead, nigga?
Because, like, he never has any
Are
interest.
you dead? Oh.
Okay, true or
Dead
false?
inside.
Same. True or false? Hair and nails grow after death.
False.
That's false. Your shit falls the fuck
That is
off.
false. A lot of people believe that your hair and nails grow after death because as you die, you get a little skinny, your facial features start caving in, you look very, very thin, so it makes it look like that your hair and nails are longer than what they really
You
are.
ever seen Tales of the Crypt? That nigga was like balding, bro. That nigga was like, ooh.
Okay, and the final question, what are the 5 stages of grief?
I don't know.
There's one that's like anger, acceptance,
You don't have to get them in order, just name
Denial.
them.
Denial, anger, acceptance. I don't know. Oh, no. Bargaining
Mm-hmm.
and something.
I don't even know that shit.
Okay. So you said denial and bargaining, acceptance.
And acceptance and anger.
Okay. The 5 official stages in order are denial, anger, bargaining,
Bitch, I was going to say
depression,
depression.
and acceptance.
I was going to say sad.
Sad.
Say,
Okay, we're almost done talking about death.
keep it up.
Keep it up. Okay, so the last one I have some death facts. Stuff that is things that you wouldn't know. I told y'all this one earlier. Out of all of your senses, the hearing is the last one to go. It is the last one that you are capable of, your brain is still capable of producing after death. Everything else, I think your sight is actually the first to go. I think it is.
Looking at me like I know. I ain't no smarty.
Duh.
Bitch, how many of those questions I get right? Fuck you.
You got almost all of them right.
Nigga, we're gonna murder you after this podcast.
Okay, left-handed people tend to die quicker than right-handed people by 3 years.
You know what?
How's that?
Because they use a right-handed car and then they drive off a bridge. They just
Okay.
Fuck you, faggot.
a right-handed car.
It's like death. I don't know what
Like
the
Death
actual.
Flanders.
I don't know what the
Left-torial.
actual expectancy is. But like if the expectancy just general is 80, left-handed people usually die about 77. Let's just say. Vending machines kill 13 people a year.
How?
Because people fucking get pissy because their shit don't fall out and they wiggle it and it falls on them.
It falls on them. Yeah.
Because if you get it past a certain point, that bitch is coming down.
And you ain't gonna get it back up.
Because the center of gravity.
Patience is key. It could save your life.
So if your ass is angry at some type of job and it involves a vending machine and your snack, just say fuck it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Come
get
down,
up.
bro. Or just break the glass.
Or you can get a Lil Wayne or a Juice WRLD. I didn't even say it.
This one is kind of sad, but it makes a lot of sense. Natural deaths and suicide peak around the holidays. Obviously, suicides peak around the holidays because people are depressed if they don't have any family or don't have anywhere to go, and it's just
Or they have too much family that they can't afford to buy anything for or do anything for.
that is true. We've been there. It is very true, and it's just obviously that's a spike in suicide, and also in natural deaths because around the holidays. If someone is feeling sick, they don't want to go to the hospital because, like, no, it's Christmas or it's Thanksgiving. I don't want to mess up anyone's Christmas or Thanksgiving by having to go to the hospital. And if they do end up going to the hospital, the majority of the time, it's not senior people that are there.
Well,
Like, it's not higher ups. It's fucking interns or something like that. Like, people who really can't handle the stress of it all, and they end up dying because of that.
Well, I look at it like this.
Mhm.
If y'all feel sad, depressed, just come here.
Yeah, come here. We love y'all.
We love y'all.
Yeah.
Reach out to us.
Damn, nigga, that shit jump like in automatic.
Reach out to us.
Reach out for it. You know where I'm at. I'm always on Facebook. I'm always on Snapchat. Hit me up. Don't be sad. Don't kill yourself. I love each and every one of y'all.
Love y'all.
I love
Except for
y'all.
Casey. Fuck you, Casey.
Fuck you, Casey.
Shut up, doll.
But if he kill himself,
I'll be sad.
I would definitely be sad.
Casey, don't kill yourself.
Yeah, don't do
Well,
that.
fuck you, Stella.
Oh yeah, Ben.
If you kill yourself, I'm gonna bring you back to life and kill you.
Ben, you made that comment. I'm not gonna say the comment.
No, Tyler.
No, not that comment. I'm talking about the one about about his daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do it. I love you, fucking faggot.
Okay, I don't think I know what you're talking about. We're gonna have to talk
Oh,
about
why
that
don't you
later.
say that F word? You done said it. We gotta
Yep.
restart.
You done said it. We're not restarting. You're gonna edit that out.
Okay.
Screen went off. Okay, a lot of people know this one. There are currently 200 corpses on Mount Everest. It's people who think they can make the travel and don't make the travel. They don't make it. They
I
end
can
up
make it.
dying. You think you could?
Jack
Mm.
made
I don't
it.
want you to try it.
What's his name made it? Jack made it.
Who's Jack?
Jack.
Mehoff?
No, Jack Osborne. He made it.
Good for him. And
Damn. Look at your eyes, dude. They look like they're glowing.
there are so many corpses on Mount Everest that people who are currently traveling to the top actually use them as place markers. Like, I forget what color the boots were, but there's a traveler, let's say green. There's a traveler there who has, there's a corpse there who has green boots. And they know, like, oh, this is the dead tourist with the green boots. That means we're so and so miles away from the top. Like, they use them as fucking place markers.
How tall is Mount Everest?
I don't know.
Taller than my
Not off
dad.
the top of my head, probably.
So, man,
Let's
Matt,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to do some Mount Everest climbing, baby.
Okay, only have a few more
I
left.
can't even climb a fucking hill. What you mean? Climbing a mountain.
The
The
term
stairs at work, I'm like, whoo!
Jesus Christ.
The term 6 feet under actually came from the time that the plague was going around, because they believed that if there was 6 feet between the dead body and the living, that was enough for for the diseases of the deceased not to rise up and affect the living. Like 6 feet is enough between us and them to keep us from getting sick from what they have.
Oh, God.
So that's where the term 6 feet under came from.
6 feet long.
Poke an eye out with that.
Black.
In Victorian times, shut up. In Victorian times, widows had to mourn 2.5 years. It was socially acceptable for them to mourn for 2.5 fucking years, while widowers only had to mourn for 3 months, socially.
Yeah, about a week.
About a week.
This way
Strong
to get over
week.
somebody, climb on top of somebody else, and move on.
Yeah.
Shout out to that boy Seymour.
Oh, Christopher Motionless.
Chris
Another
Steele.
one. You technically don't die from old age. Natural cause is just something that comes with old age, but old age technically isn't a cause of death. It's something that is brought on with your old age, maybe a weakened immune system or a failure of an organ, but they label it up as natural causes because the person who died is old as fuck. But
So-
technically, you do not die from old age. If you actually keep up your organs and your immune system is bomb,
Come on, kidney.
work.
Wait, my kidney's back here. Come on, kidneys.
Did you just hit the
You can
side?
actually live a really long time. You technically do not die from old age.
Yeah, I've seen people live like 103.
Exactly.
and breathe.
You're more likely to die from taking a selfie than you are from a shark attack.
What? How the fuck does that happen?
Just people climb up on buildings, take a selfie, and go slip.
Like, ooh, I'm going to go up on this dangerously tall building and take a selfie.
Or that one guy who took a selfie next to that train and got kicked in the head. That train could have kicked him in the head. Popped him
I
off.
remember that.
That one dude, the shotgun kid, that was a selfie technically.
Well, yeah.
This is the final weird fact, and I actually learned this when the person I spoke about earlier passed away. You cannot be buried without underwear in Texas. Don't know if that is a country thing, but you have to have underwear if you are to be buried in Texas.
Bullshit.
They don't need
No.
that beach stink.
You have to have underwear on.
No. I'm gonna sound right not to have under.
You gotta have it.
You
That's
come
against
this
my
world,
religion.
man.
Because they told us when we brought clothes up for him, it's like, where's his underwear? He has to have underwear. It's like, why? Nobody's gonna see him. Like, he's gotta have it. Texas law.
So that gooch don't stink.
What's
You
that?
don't want
Well,
no
anything
dude butter
that's
coming
gonna be about him is if he's being embalmed. Anything that is about him is not going to stink because that's what he's being embalmed is for. It slows down, slows it all down.
But look though, if you can be cremated naked, you can be buried naked. I'm naked right now. Y'all just don't see my clothes.
We added the clothes on.
Fuck it.
This is all a green screen.
See, I'm officially full 100%.
Your nipple is so greasy right now.
Ew.
My nipples look like Malik.
Okay.
Malik.
That's all I got.
Why your nipples so greasy?
Ooh, I did want to cite, there's a YouTuber, I can't remember her name, but her YouTube channel is Ask a Mortician. She's actually where I got a lot of this information from, and she's very informative, and she is funny as hell. So if this is something that you are interested in, I highly recommend that you give her a look.
The links in the bio, it'll be down below.
Yeah, we'll link her.
Yeah.
We'll link the stink.
Link her.
Is she hot?
She's pretty.
I'll link the stink.
Shut up.
Wait, is she on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'll give her an 8.
Damn.
I'll link the
I
stink.
think she's pretty.
Would you bang her
Would I bang her?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
in the morning?
On top of a dead body, or as they call them, a stiff.
A stiff. I don't know.
You
know
never
what?
go in the dick about the dick during the little morgue situation when they bomb it.
Yeah, what happens to the dick?
It just stays there.
So, does it rise?
Does it get hard?
Rigor mortis, it can.
If my homie,
But
which
it's
is-
usually, like, a couple hours after rigor mortis, it's usually flaccid along with the rest of the body.
so if his dick gets hard, this guy right here,
Yeah, this homie.
I would sit on it just to bring it down. No lie, no cap.
You're a true friend.
If his dick was ever hard and he can't close the casket, I guess I'm gonna have to jack you off, man. I'll be there all day.
We'll give you a privacy curtain.
No, fuck that. I want to be out in the open. Like, well, soon reviewing of the body. His dick is hard. Can you
Take care
close
of
it?
it. Go take care of it.
Fuck it. Everybody gonna be crying. I'll be like, shit. I'm jacking my homie. I always want to jack you, man. Like, no lie. Is that gay?
You know what we need to do? We need Jack Casey so he fucking gets his first nut so he's not a little bitch anymore.
Well, if we jack Casey,
We gotta film them.
yeah. If you want to see me,
Babe, you should Jack Casey.
No. Do
so
not pimp me out.
we're not pimping you,
Babe.
we're helping you.
Helping me with what?
Getting Casey his first nut.
I don't want to do that. I don't need help with that.
Well,
It'll
Just-
make
I
it
don't
less
want to
weird.
do it.
You say it's weird, that'll make it less weird.
He is weird.
Okay, that'll make
Well,
it less
I
weird.
mean, he's my friend, but he's weird.
what
Once he
about
gets that first nut, he'll be okay.
what
I
about,
don't want to be responsible
what
for
about the
that.
other person? Can we get her to do it?
No.
I doubt it.
No.
She don't even do it for me.
Well, who else could we use? What about that other chick? What's her name? Heather that works at Five and Below in Tyler. She can help him. She got a man. She used to be in a whore.
Yeah, she got a man. She's letting Casey kiss her and shit, so that's weird.
I don't know who they're talking about now.
The little chick that stink finger.
Like Casey Finger or whatever.
I
Or at
never
least
saw,
that's what he said.
I
So.
never saw any pictures, so I wouldn't
I'm
know.
gonna have to show you her. She's like a fucking fat ass.
Okay. That was rude.
What? I'm not lying.
You're gonna get roasted by the fat community,
Fuck
which
it.
we're all a part of. So
The
no tea, no shade.
LGBTF. Long ass. Gay.
You already
You
messed
already
it up.
messed it up.
LGBTQ. I love you, but I'm gay, so.
Yeah, we support them here. We love y'all.
Shit. You know who else support them?
Hmm.
Satan.
Well, that's
That was interesting.
there goes our fans.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
But I love y'all though. Fuck, if y'all see me, y'all know I ain't gay anyway, so I'm gonna blow a dude.
They
You
fuck
know?
around here.
So, question: we're gonna do an OnlyFans account or a Snapchat Premium. So, if you ever want to see me fully clothed, fully clothed, naked.
Fully clothed and my balls out.
You know what I'm saying, if you want to see my gooch,
You want to see up close and personal both our hairy ass gooches. You need to subscribe.
because who doesn't want to see us naked?
Probably our parents and grandparents.
Well, they
But other
always,
than that.
well, they already seen us naked. We can't.
Yeah, but not like nowadays.
Not now. It's not socially acceptable to see y'all naked now.
Well, I'm not saying my mom want to see me naked, but like other moms want to see me naked.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
Fuck it. Who doesn't want to see this? I'm
But,
pretty sure.
Today, since we talked about the "we'll be here for you" thing, we won't be here for you. Just kidding. But we will have mine and Denzel's at least. What should we do? Like Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram stuff.
Do Instagram.
Snapchat.
Yeah, we'll just do all three of them in the description below. If you want to add us on it and just chit chat, fuck it.
And I'll put my Instagram on there as well. I don't add people I don't know on my Snapchat, so you can get me on Instagram.
Well, we don't know none of you people.
Not me buried, but Bujana 2020 is going strong, so.
Hey,
Ditto.
you don't see nothing, baby.
Yeah.
Can't see me.
Mm-hmm. But if y'all ever want to send some like,
if y'all ever want to send, go to our OnlyFans account. We'll get you sending.
You know what I'm saying? Go follow me at Twitter, poo_DA_.
I'm gonna write it all in the
We're gonna
description.
write it down.
Well, they know me. Like, who doesn't know me? Like, maybe the new people who subscribe to us. I love every one of you niggas.
Definitely.
I love y'all.
Yeah, anybody that's liked a video, commented on a video, subscribed to us, watched our video in general, we appreciate it a lot.
If y'all look at me in this video, y'all owe me a Valentine gift because I help y'all get off on some good shit.
Yeah, but it's past Valentine's soon.
Well,
That's Bentley, by the way.
Okay.
He's one of our two sons. The other one's in there being unsocial.
Yeah.
I call him Billy.
Billy.
Theo.
Theo.
Theo, come here.
He's like, no, fuck y'all.
Nigga, if you don't bring your ass, I'll touch you in the balls.
Don't touch his balls. Don't make Bentley feel bad. He doesn't have balls anymore.
He does have balls.
Bentley doesn't have balls.
I can put my balls in him.
That wasn't my choice. You were fixed when I got you, baby. That wasn't my choice.
Does he have a tattoo?
Is
No.
Bentley? I don't think so.
Because,
There's so much fucking hair on him, we wouldn't be able to find it anyway.
Well, I think it was because he had an owner when he got neutered.
Yeah.
Baby girl was like...
She was a stray.
She was a stray. So that's why she got a tattoo. Okay, but anyway, also, we'll put our Xbox usernames in case anybody wants to play games. We've been playing Call of Duty like every fucking day. So if you want to play Call of Duty with us on Xbox, or you don't even have to be on Xbox.
If you want an autograph, hey, I'm open.
$5.
Fuck no, why charge?
$10. Fuck it.
$10.
You see me in public, you want a hug? Give me $1, I'll give you a hug.
Idiot, show me some titties, and I would definitely give you a hug. Well, I hug y'all anyway.
Yeah, Benny.
He said, yeah.
But yeah.
Get my daddy
If
money.
you ever see us in public, I know there's only like 4 people who watch this, and they're like all people we already know
Yeah.
anyways.
Our friends.
Say what's up, which you would anyways because you already know us. So, whatever. But if you are a new person who just because I know
You
like
good?
one of
You
my
got me
friends showed somebody our podcast, like that dude. If he ever comes in a random hotel in Tyler and sees me, because that's where I work at a hotel in Tyler, and I'm not going to give out which one in case there's any stalkers or crazy people.
Fucking murder you if you random stranger.
If you ever see us, just come up, say what's up, and tell us how you know us, and tell us it's from the podcast, and then we'll give you a hug and a kiss, and I don't know, suck your dick, whatever.
Hey, we ain't talking about like eating pussy because we're not about that life. We rather suck your dick.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm not, you nasty.
Yeah, nasty.
Hell, I eat the booty. Who doesn't eat booty? The next segment is eating booty.
But, anyways.
Said butt.
But cheeks. But that was our show.
Shout out to Gary Butler.
Yeah, Gary Butt Cheeks. I heard you you watch our podcast or listen. If you get to hear, just know. We know you still buy that Nutella shit, and we still have to get the hazelnut spread.
That shit is Gary Butt.
Fucking rich ass motherfucker.
And if you enjoyed the death segment, I can do another episode with them on cremation if that's something that you're interested in. Just comment down below and let them know.
You know who else like cremation? The
Who?
guys from the Outlaws, Tupac's group. They smoked his ashes.
Bentley is so out of it.
Yeah, he's like fucking tired.
He's so
Okay,
sleepy.
well, hope you all enjoyed. We will see you next week. And I guess we're gonna.
Once again, Den nigga.
And I'm Matt.
I'm Macie.
And we will see you next week.
Love, peace, and chicken, nigga. Reese.
Bye.